wrong with saying esophagus because that's the beginning of the alimentary canal. Okay? So, again, as you consume liquids, beverages of pops or sodas or whatever, or the food, which is, which I didn't write over there, is Crispitos and chicken fajitas. But again, those are the differences between your primary and your secondary organs.
I have a question. Because I know that like alcohol ruins your liver.
Typically, people who consume large amounts of alcohol, okay, over the course of, let's say, 30 years, genetics can have some part of that, but typically you would say, okay, I know that person and they drink a lot of alcohol, and when you look at their body, how could you possibly tell? Exactly. You know, that's a secondary. I don't know why it's the nose. You're right. But I think the first thing you look at is, yeah, their belly. Yeah. So what had resulted in a large belly? Because is alcohol a usable substance in the body, or is it a toxic substance? It's toxic. So your liver has to take that toxic substance and convert it to something else, which would be a usable form. So what happens is it's kind of like a reversible reaction. What I mean by that is when alcohol is, before it becomes alcohol, let's say you've got a copper pot, some corn or some rice, and a fire pit, and a distillation tube, and a collection duct. Okay?
It's like we're making some alcohol.
You're taking, especially that corn. What is in that corn that you're trying to separate? Not the alcohol. We're not that far yet. What's in that corn? Close, but it starts with an S. It's a type of carbohydrate. A very large carbohydrate. Think of bread, pastas, starch. It's the starch in that corn that you're separating when you heat it up. Starch is a carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are many, many linkages of monosaccharides. And a monosaccharide could be glucose. So then what happens is that glucose then gets converted to something else, which would be what? The sugar gets converted to, in the still, alcohol. So now you went from sugar to alcohol.
How do they get converted like that?
Chemical reaction. No, not necessarily a chemical reaction, but just some little guys known as yeast that convert that sugar to alcohol. Fermentation. Right. So then what happens is you go on from sugar to alcohol. Now you're intaking it into your body as alcohol, and your liver just does the opposite. Remember, we went from sugar to alcohol. Now we've got the alcohol, and your liver is going to convert it to sugar. Yes.
But
Yes.
on a beer belly, they say that it's a beer belly if it's hard, and it's not a beer belly if it's soft. Why is that?
I'm thinking the composition maybe of your diet could lead to that. Different types of sugars may have an effect because it's kind of like it's a synthetic type of sugar. I know that's probably not correct, but if you're taking in sugar naturally to an overextent, my opinion would be that's going to be a type of soft belly, or excuse me, hard belly. But then when you take in all that alcohol, that would be a soft belly, if I'm interpreting your question correctly. Now, is that accurate? I really don't know. I'm not a physiologist or a doctor, but that would be the best example that I could explain that with.
So do you know about the nose then? Like,
No, I have no idea. I've heard that before, and people have talked about it, but I don't know why. But then you also have to think that liver is working so hard to do that, and we've seen this up in SDSU with the cadavers. There's a life history written up on the whiteboards about these patients, and there was a 85-year-old female, maybe a little older, and it said that she likes her bourbon or she likes her whiskey or whatever, and her liver was big, it was huge,
bigger than?
because it's working so hard.
Is it just muscle then, or was it?
I don't know. I think just because it could be inflammation would be my guess, because it's being overworked trying to convert all that alcohol into sugar. Because if it doesn't, if your alcohol starts to build up too much in your bloodstream, now you're going to start to be poisoned by what you're taking in. And I think you probably have heard of alcohol poisoning, and I think it's one. Because for some reason, the last ditch effect, I think, that your central nervous system will try to do to save your life would be what, do you think? If someone is consuming all that alcohol, it's going to try to do this last ditch effect, say, hey, we can't have all this, but sometimes it's just too late. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Okay. So, what are two different types of digestion? That's one, and mechanical is one. Mechanical. You might have said it. I didn't hear it. Mechanical and chemical. Well, what's the difference? Pretty close, but before it can be broken down, is what you're doing right now. And so, what are you doing right now? Chewing. So that's what we mean by breaking it down into smaller pieces. Yes, that's correct. And then chemically, you're breaking it down as well into more usable parts. Okay. So this is what you're referring to. Chemical digestion breaks food into simpler chemicals. So some of that starch that you take in, you're breaking that starch down into individual glucose molecules. And the reason for that is starch is it's a really, really big compound. You cannot absorb starches into your cells. Why not? They're too big. They are way too big. So what your body has to do is take this carbohydrate and start taking a cleaver to it and breaking it up. Once it's broken up into smaller units, then it can be absorbed into your cells and then utilized. Okay, so we continue on. The lining of your small bowels or small intestine. So what would be the advantage, think about this, what would be the advantage of these finger-like projections? That is correct. Okay? So let's break that apart. I think. Okay, so you tell me up, down, left, or right? Structure, I heard structure.
Yeah, structure. Very top, right next to
Structure of the wall mucosa, I believe. Yeah, structure of the wall, semicolon, mucosa. I bet. Don't worry, we're good yet. How's that? That is. There. So you correctly said these finger-like projections, it increases the surface area. Surface area for what? Yeah. When you're absorbing, what does that mean? It's going into your what? Your bloodstream. That's right. You're not going to be able to grab anything useful in your diet if it can't be absorbed into your bloodstream. It's theorized. Well, again, I keep falling into this trap. Let you catch up with this because it's hard to write. And that sounds terrible when I say that. It's hard to write and think at the same time. I know you're capable, but we're just not used to it yet.
How many people do you have in your chemistry classes here?
7. That expression says it all to me too.
That's crazy.
That's really crazy. There's 7. Well, let me.
There's more.
I don't know because it has changed a couple times. Let me look. Don't worry, this will come back up again. On my roster, that's what I got. That's my general chemistry class. 6. Sorry, I was off by 1.
So is that like?
Just tiny.
Yes.
So is everyone else taking this remote?
No, there's.
No, everyone's in my study.
They will next year. They can't this year because you got second hour left.
Second hour out.
And that's why. They're not in. Right. Haha, got it. Okay. So here we go. So one of the aspects that we try to explain to sophomores, okay, is the idea of the cellular level. Okay. So think about this. Let's say this is just a huge cell. Did she say?
No, I know, I'm starting to think. I'm starting to think bad, I'm starting to.
You know, there are some people that I don't know why. Just do it. I'm not saying minimal amount of work, but just all set. Here comes the sweat.
That's me. I'm not sweating, I'm starting to go on top.
Like basketball, like instantly, just.
Like, I'm one person that hates to stink, and I will put on deodorant as many times a day as I have to. I have to put on deodorant 3 times a day. It's just horrible. I'm sweating a lot off.
You're not sweating with basketball. Is that an advantage for you then? Because do you think other ladies?
I don't.
Oh, they're so sweaty.
Well, like, and it's like I don't like sweat on my arms. It's literally just my face that sweats. Like, my face gets red from the sweat.
But would that be an advantage then, do you think? Do you not like putting a hand in the back of someone who's sweating that bad? Or I didn't mean to put an elbow in your face.
But like, I don't know, like when they're like super sweaty, like whatever numbers, like when you hit them like harder, it hurts a lot more. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
That's me, I just think of a water bottle.
so this is our very large cell. Okay? What would have a bigger surface area? This cell or putting a whole bunch of nickels inside of this?
Bigger surface area?
Yeah, surface area. Not volume. Surface area.
Okay, so the outside is still.
So this is the surface area around the outside. Or if you put a whole bunch of nickels and fit as many as you could without overlapping them, is it all the nickels or this single roll of tape that has a bigger surface
You're counting the surface area the inside and the
area? Exactly. And it's hard for them to maybe visualize that. Maybe it's easy for yourself, maybe you're more so for me. Hey, younger people.
Is it really just like, okay, so obviously if there's a difference, how do you guys like base out like your chemistry and your science?
In the order?
Yeah, so like my freshman year I took physical science, my sophomore year I took biology, and then like, well now obviously it's all screwed.
Yeah. Same like should be junior level is general chemistry, or in Jared's case, chemistry isn't good. I just knew he looked like you were concentrating. I'm gonna get him good. But in Jared's case, he's taking physics, which is a Bible replacement. Now, when I was at another school, we did allow some students to take biology and chemistry at the same time, which would make sense. That way, when they're juniors, they could take organic chemistry, and when seniors, they could take physics. But that's neither here nor there. It's the math, unfortunately, that makes me feel up.
Why are you on an English class?
What?
Why are you on an English class? Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Are you graduating high school there?
I'm
Yeah,
taking
wait.
all my high school classes this year and then a bunch of college classes.
Okay.
Great idea.
So, we got this lumen then with all these, no, that's why I had this magnet, okay? Picture, this is that figure-like projection we're talking about. I think this would be much easier to see. What's going to have a larger surface area? Just this one, or if I broke these into 3 different bars, so what's greater? This or that? The surface area, like, because these are those figure-like projections in small tests.
What you do like this or that? Then you can add it to it.
Yeah. What has a greater surface area? This, these figure-like projections, or that?
Should be the same. Not losing or gaining.
You're gaining surface area when you
Up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah, but still up, down, down, up, down, and moves.
No, it's up and then down. You're not counting. in
Oh, I
between.
didn't know you were counting in between.
Oh, yeah, I'm counting in between.
Oh, I thought you were just counting.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah, it would be the same, but you gotta go up, down, up, down, up, down.
I get it, yeah.
Okay. I was told, don't do this.
West side.
Okay?
Yeah, just don't do that.
Sometimes to me.
It is not. It is not appropriate for school. Let's just put it that way.
Well, but see, when I'd be officiating basketball, not varsity, I would not. Sometimes JV and junior high, but numbers 35, I would come up to the scores table, follows on 35. 35. I always like to do it twice. Sometimes that way I know, or 25.
It's
You're
just,
like 35.
it just means something.
I know, because a math teacher, Ravina, the student said you were officiating and you're doing this. I go, yeah, because when I call fouls, I do 35. Well, that means something. Okay. Dan said, but the reason I say that is think, did anyone ever hear or read, probably read the books, The Chronicles of Narnia? Maybe have seen the movie, The Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, I see.
Do you know the first one? Do you know what people had such an uproar about the first movie?
No.
Liam Neeson is the voice for the lion. I can't remember the character name of the lion. Aslan. There were so many religious groups that protested that movie because you can't have a lion resurrected. Only Jesus Christ has been resurrected. See, you never even gave that a thought until I just told you. Or did you know that? Did you know that?
No.
Did you know that?
My friend is very.
Did you know that?
I think it's ridiculous.
What we just
It's a
said about
movie.
I know the
People
protest.
idolize.
Okay. But would you tie kind of like a cartoon movie to where an animal dies, is resurrected again? Would you tie that to Jesus Christ?
I'd like, I don't know, but I mean, I wouldn't say anything because the movie.
The movies are also
I mean, it's not like we can ban it because, you know, it's for religious reasons. It's not
Right.
actively going against, it's not actively
But see,
like
I-
slandering of religion.
my point is, I never even gave that a thought. It's like, what difference does it make? Is it really that bad?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
We're a.
I mean, is that the first thing that you would think of? If you saw this, is that what's going through your mind?
Do you know? But do you know what it means?
It has something to do with a guy doing something to a gal. Yes.
But yeah, okay, so like that's what like a lot of guys do. Like,
What, do you disassociate with them guys then? Right. But regardless, okay. So, as we move on. So, think about this while you're writing this down. Why are there so many nerve endings in that small intestine? Think about that while you're writing that down.
I got an idea. After we're done with like taking notes, since everybody's clearly taking notes, can you email us this like slide?
Oh, this isn't on your paper?
No, it definitely is. Just this sometimes it's super hard to read my writing.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I'm taking every note, writing it down.
Oh, I know. Okay.
It's just easier to read it.
Okay. Try to put something up on the plan book website. How's that? And you just go and download it. I'm trying to be more technology oriented, but now I can be mean to myself. So, your parents' technology, yes, no. Okay. Your parents' technology, yes, no. Your parents' technology, yes, no. Okay, finally, number 4, your parents' technology, yes, no.
My dad builds his own computers.
Okay. So I'm seriously trying. I don't know. I found out I do have a couple views on my biology page for YouTube, but so it does keep track of how many people are watching, which I kind of like. Anyway, I don't know. Oh no. It says it. Oh. All right. So would you still need that downloaded, or would you be able to just look back at the video? Here it is right here.
What's your video called?
You just go to the school's webpage. Okay, I'll show you. It's probably the best way. Okay, so this is what you would do. And this is probably practical in case you're gone from school at some point or another as well.
Is it directly on YouTube?
No. Let's see. So, oops. So you go to, this is Comedy's website, okay? You go to the staff, okay? And you click on the science picture of this guy. Okay? And then when you do that, it takes you to plan book then. And you have to find, I gotta get this reset. This August should be where October is. This is still on last year's. I'm trying to get that. See, that's what I'm talking about technology. I got the best intentions in mind, but sometimes it gets lost in translation. So then here's our week. So then this pops up. And then here is that link to the YouTube channel. You just click on that. And it takes you to this. Then this has all the different lectures on there if you look for it. Here's today's zoology lecture. Here's today's organic chem lecture. Here's yesterday's biology lecture. Okay. General chemistry. There's nothing on there. I don't know how this is going to sort on here. Is this all just going to go linear, or is this going to start wrapping itself around like it has? See, it's all linear right now because it doesn't all fit in that field, so it keeps going to the right.
They're all linear.
Okay.
So
I can't get these to go down here.
I think they will when someone else looks at your channel.
You go to editing. Like,
Well, let's not worry about this. Right.
well, if you click customize channel, it'll probably take like 3 seconds.
Okay.
I don't know. But anyways, go to like, okay, so look at
Usually
your
you're able
videos.
to add like new sections.
Okay. We will stop there for today. There's really no reason to keep the camera rolling, so we'll pick up with this tomorrow.